Hello there, lovers of disc golf, and welcome to OTB TV's coverage of the PDGA Pro World Championships presented by Grip 6. I'm Greg Sloan.
I'm Danny Corbett. What's up, everybody? We've got a great round out here at the Fort. They're going to bookend it for FPO. They're starting at the Fort, they're ending at the Fort. This place is amazing.
Day one of the World Championships. You can sense the anticipation, the energy, the buzz in the air. Everyone is excited to be here. We've got a great card for you. We feature today Missy Gannon, Hailey King, Lisa Fajkus, and Rebecca Cox.
This is the event. This is the pinnacle of our sport. There will be a new world champion crowned this weekend.
That's right, Danny. The crowds were ready for some disc golf action. The setting was beautiful. Conditions were good here on day one. A little on the warmer side, but it's looking good throughout the week. Not too windy here at the Fort, protected by trees and the lower elevation here.
So many trees, and just getting a look there previously at the one of the more unique tee pads. But yeah, now we're looking at hole one.
All right, hole one, 315 feet. Par 3.
This is a fun one. You've got tight gaps off the front. You've got this stream in the middle. That's OB. There's also OB long. It's a little bit throw and pray late, but there are some gaps. This is one that these ladies are looking to get their championship started off right.
You need to carry all this OB or you're going to be throwing your next shot from the drop zone.
They've got a great crew here. Nice group of starters. The crowd is into it. This is fun. We've got Lisa Fajkus here.
She's exploring this right side hyzer line. And she gets basically up to the edge of circle one there with her drive. Nice start for Lisa.
That's going to give her a putt. That's a good way to start the championships. You're happy with that. Gonna give it a look. Got a chance at birdie. You're feeling good. The nerves are settled a little bit after that first tee shot.
I know this isn't the first World for most of these players. It was my first Worlds. I was a little nervous, Danny.
Dude, yeah, there's a little bit of anxiety and tension just being in the crowd. Man, it's fun though. There's nothing quite like it, and all these players are super welcoming for having us out there.
Rebecca's backhand finds her up on that right side of the green as well. Hailey with the turnover. Oh man.
There it is.
She starts her tournament off with a park job.
Yep, here we've got Missy Gannon rounding out the card.
Get close. Oh, she finds that tree right in the center of the fairway. Unfortunately, she'll be walking up and taking her shot from the drop zone.
So is everything short of that berm, OB?
Yeah, as you can see here on the graphic, OB all the way up. I was a little unaware of that. I thought it was mostly just water hazard, but no. Basically the green and the whole landing zone acted as an island.
Yeah, so you really got to cross that OB river.
About 250 to carry the river.
Lisa lining up her birdie putt. Ooh, putting her strong suit for sure. She's very competent in all parts of the game, but she's very well known at being an extremely competent putter.
She would have liked to keep pace with Hailey there to start things off, but can't be too disappointed with the par on the first hole of the World Championships.
No, not at all. Certainly wish that first putt would have gone better, but other than that, that's a smooth start, and it's on to hole 2.
All right. Missy gets her bogey after the penalty stroke, and Rebecca will tap in, and we are off to hole 2. Once again, shout out to GK Pro for hooking it up with the drone flyovers. You can see you have to carry the water, get up to this top shelf. The green has its own sort of little structure marked out with telephone poles, marking circle 1. Everything up here is inbounds until you reach the OB road behind the basket.
Yeah, I think that's even a little bit smaller than circle 1, and then it's OB behind too with that path.
Correct.
So we got Hailey after the birdie, little forehand. She's actually going up and over. That's an interesting player, really kind of going through it. I don't know if there is up and over or if she just wanted to go low but missed a little high. Either way, she'll be just fine there putting for her bird.
From the blue tee pad, you can find that line left a little easier from the gold tee pad, but it's still a tricky line on the flick. Hailey was a little inside. She made it up top, as did Lisa. Rebecca, just a little high there.
Perfect line, though.
Exactly.
Missy looking to come back after that opening hole bogey. Smooth, flirting with the ceiling a little bit, pops through. She's going to have a wide open look.
And we've definitely seen Missy hit those putts from that distance. It's in her comfort zone.
Yeah, just like Lisa, very well known for her incredible putting.
Good bid there from Rebecca. She was actually on the downslope of the hill. Lost her footing a little bit, but she's okay.
Hailey well known for being good at just about everything. She's got backhand, she's got forehand, and that putt when it's on is just nasty.
Super confident from right at circle one's edge. Great putt for Hailey to go 2 for 2 to start off her championship.
Missy from probably about 28. Getting her grip right with the whale sack. Missy's so confident. She trusts her routine. She's getting it lined up. She knows exactly what she's doing. Her make rate, albeit missing that one, is very high. I expect her to bounce right back.
Yeah, it's definitely been a strong suit of her game, that consistent circle one and circle two performance with the putter. Let's see what Lisa can do here.
Yeah, I expect Lisa to knock this one down. She really wants to get back after that first one.
Bang. She puts it right in the heart of the chains, in the bottom of the basket.
Now under par to start her championship. 2 holes in, 4 rounds and 16 holes to go. We've got a little bit of a marathon here. We've got 5 rounds to determine the new world champion.
Rebecca gets her par there. She starts off with even golf after 2 holes.
Hole 3, man. Crossing the river again, and I think this is actually the last we see of crossing the river. Starts off immediately next to the river. You're going 258 feet. It's very wooded late. It's this is really one of the more fun greens that we've got out on the course. You can see the mountains in the background too. This place is gorgeous.
This was the only hole that played easier than hole 2, so definitely one that this FPO field is looking to pick up.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 are starting out with 3 of your easier holes. You really want to stack chips early because 4, 5, 6 are coming, and that's a tough, tough stretch.
Lisa with her low hyzer line, and she gets a nice skip up into circle 1. Great shot from Lisa.
That's such a good window to hit, that low right gap.
Rebecca lining up the backhand.
One thing with Rebecca's form, too, is she's looking at that basket the whole time, even with her backhand. Traditionally, that's something you only see with the forehand, but she's gotten to get very good with that form.
Missy turned it over a little, and maybe a helpful tree to knock her down.
Sure. Yeah, that was a nice little flip-up shot. I think it maybe flipped up more than she wanted, or she just started it more right than she anticipated. Little bit of a bid, but that low ceiling made it difficult.
Yeah, hard to give much more commitment to that.
That was good height, good pace, just a little bit to the right for Hailey.
Rebecca with a little bit of an awkward lie, having to stretch out around these guardian trees. Real variety of fauna here at the fort. Skinny trees, big trees. They basically have trees of all shapes and sizes.
They've got it all, man. Hailey with a nice comebacker, super confident stroke. She doesn't worry about that initial miss and having probably all of 25 coming back.
Yeah, very confident there on the comebacker.
Lisa for the bird, no problem at all.
Lisa feeling good. 2 out of 3 gets her birdies. She's 2 under.
Yep, tied with Hailey, who got the first 2 and parred this one. Missy tapping out her par. Then Rebecca going to do the same.
26% birdie rate here on day one of the World Championships. And we get a couple birdies here on our card as well. And we're off to hole 4.
This is one of the toughest holes out here. It ranks as the 4th most difficult. It's tight fairway all the way down, meandering from the right to the left. If you're off the fairway at all here, it really plays as a true rough. I love this for disc golf where you've actually got a rough. There's so many trees down there. And then once you actually are getting down to the basket, as we can see now from the GK flyover, there's the river on the right side. So if you happen to miss that, if you happen to miss your shot to the right late, you're gonna be bringing in the river and that OB stroke.
530 feet. It's the first of 7 par 4s on the day. And you have to be accurate the whole time on this hole, as for the most part here at the fort.
It is so demanding. You see a good kick there from Lisa's shot to be center of the fairway. Hailey kicking on the left, over to the right. She's going to have a little bit of a struggle, but can easily get back on the fairway and get back from there.
One thing I did want to take note here, tournament golf certainly taking hold early here. We already had a backup at this hole, so I'm not sure if that's playing into a little bit of cooling off for our players after the nice 3 holes to get started, to kind of stand around for 15 or 20 minutes. It's got to mess with your
rhythm a little bit. Yeah, this hole was a backup pretty much all week, but to me, I think it's well worth it. It's a great hole to play. It's just tough. There's going to be a lot of shots like that where if you're a little bit off the fairway, you're only going to be able to chunk off so much before you take your next shot.
And as you can see, it's not the most heavily wooded rough, but it's just wooded enough to make you try and maybe bite off a little bit more on your layup shot than you should and be punished again.
Beautiful second right there from Lisa, staying in center fairway. Everybody's now back to the fairway and trying to just chunk off as much distance as they can while staying close. It's a little bit of army golf sometimes. You got left, right, left. It's a battle, but these ladies are ready for the test.
All right, Hailey's going to try and bite off a lot of distance here. She has a pretty decent look at the center of the fairway.
That's a great angle from you, catch cam, Greg, to be able to see her through all the woods, zoom out, and get really the fairway, the view of the fairway that they're trying to navigate.
All right, here we see Lisa going to line up here again. She's in a decent position and, wow, really takes advantage of it with a nice upshot from the center of the fairway. Unfortunately, she'll be looking at a bogey here after having that trouble off of the tee.
Yeah, this hole taking its toll a little bit on a couple of our competitors, but it's to be expected. This is the 4th most difficult hole again.
Exactly. About 3/4 of a stroke above par on day 1, so definitely not an easy one to get.
Everybody close now and tapping in their pars and bogeys.
We've got 5 birdies on day 1 here on hole 4, so definitely a challenging hole here.
So tough. So tough. And we don't get much of a reprieve going into hole 5 coming up now.
Yep, another par 4. Grease these ladies as they go to hole 5. Let's check out the GK flyover.
Look at that target too. I think that's one of the all-stars of the weekend here. You can go under from the men's tee, and you can go under too from the blue tee, but it's one that you're trying to go over there, and this is one of the smallest landing zones they have. That you could see this little plaque here in the bottom right of the screen. That is the landing zone. It's about that large, and even if you happen to get there, you still have all of this to navigate. Go down to the basket on the right, and again, if you push it long, you're going to be contending with the river. It doesn't come into play too much, but if you happen to juice it and get through all of those trees somehow, it might happen.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting playing surface here at the fort. A soft, pulpy mulch pretty much throughout the fairways. So it gave much less skip and some very unpredictable play off the ground for our players.
Yeah, interesting footing too. So you got Lisa connecting on a tree but staying pretty center fairway. You've got Rebecca staying on the left side and kicking a little bit more left, so she'll have probably a pitch out. Hailey just dialing up that target. Not happy to hit the bullseye there.
Yeah, I had the chance to get Garrett Gerthy's thoughts on this hole, and he said his first time through, he lined up on that bullseye, threw it perfectly right over the top, got to the landing zone, and didn't really know what his reward was because he still had a super difficult second shot.
Yeah. Got Missy right down the fairway. Hailey with her second shot. That looked very smooth. She should be in a good position.
This is a good angle to show the mandatory that is still on the left side of the fairway.
Yeah, that can really penalize if you happen to be on the left and kicked left. Now you are forced to go inside that. Rebecca navigating it well. She should be rewarded with a good look. Lisa just taking off a little bit, ready to put the emphasis on the next shot.
Nice little understable line here from Rebecca.
That was gorgeous.
Wow, what a nice stroke.
Yeah, so she's got a chance there to save her par with about a 18 to 20 footer. A good reward after the errant first drive.
Missy just being methodical here on this par 4, getting up to have her approach.
Yeah, that was a smooth forehand shot. She's got a putt now. Look at that. So many little trees. That was a terrible roll, but that was really good gap management from Hailey there on the touchy forehand.
As you can see there, one of the marked walking paths, they're marked with some large tree trunks and definitely created some little barriers and walls.
Lisa with her third. That's perfect.
Wow.
You can't ask for much more than that. Easy par for her. Hailey probably giving this a soft run. She's pretty aggressive. Now we got Missy probably wanting to give this a run. Definitely wanted to. Not going to be penalized at all. She'll be right under the basket.
Skinny Branch really took the momentum off of that bid. And Rebecca still trying to get the putter warmed up.
Yeah, that didn't seem to come out of her hand confidently. A little bit nose down, a little bit held onto on the right. She's ready for the next putt so she can get it in and get that confidence.
Yeah, she'll see this one hit the chains, and we'll move on to hole 6.
So hole 5 playing the 8th most difficult. It feels a little bit easier, and it is playing a little bit easier than the hole prior. I do wonder how this one would play if there were a couple open holes in between hole 4 and 5. I think being prepped from that previous such a difficult par 4 hole 4, hole 5 plays a little bit easier mentally. Like, all right, I've done this. You know, let's go.
And after back-to-back par 4s, we'll see our rest of our card tap out. We're going to move on to a par 3, which is only 324 feet, Danny, but it's not a gimme by any stretch.
No, there's a lot of stuff in the way here. This is probably the one hole where it seems like there's no true line. You see a lot of players aim top left on that hill with a forced Anheuser right-hand backhand or a forehand because that seems to be the biggest gap. You can also play a low turnover and try to flex it around the right side, or you can take your chances and go right up the middle, but there are a lot of trees in the way.
Yeah, you've got maybe 5 or 6 avenues towards the basket, but unfortunately you're going to need a little bit of luck as you enter this last part of the fairway.
A lot of options, none of them great. But you can see the basket from here. You've got Lisa ready to attack, going with the low turnover. She wants it to come back, and she'll have a look there. She'll have a little bit in the way, but it is a makeable circle 2 putt if she wants to run it.
Once you're up into that protected area of the fairway, the green's pretty attackable, as you can see, open for the most part. Missy takes that right side gap up the road, and she'll have a somewhat obscured putt.
Yeah, those trees pin high right late really can play as a bunker if you're behind them. You see Rebecca attacking that high left gap that we were talking about. Oh, they came all the way through, so that did get the gap, and it ended up just a little bit short. She'll probably be early circle 2 and wanting to give that a run.
Yeah, tremendous flight on that disc. Here's Hailey going up the gut. It stables up.
My goodness.
Oh, my.
I think that's pretty good.
That's what we call Park City, Utah. It's not in Ogden. I know it's its own place, but
slow-mo replay. Look at that form. She's got such good reach back.
Sometimes it's good to be lucky and good.
Yeah, that's pure. That's giving it a chance. You know, putting it on a good line and saying, I'm okay if it hits a tree, but I'm going to absolutely give this a chance to get through. This one does, and she's rewarded with a tap-in birdie on hole 6.
I know that this is a lot of ladies' first tournaments.
So many new female players.
Bigger women's divisions, more women's divisions. We're all coming out here to do it together, and that's what's pretty cool. The sport's just growing, and it's exciting to see.
Lisa, again, kind of a tough place to take a really good run at the basket, but she'll have an easy 3.
True. These are closer to the outside edge of circle 2 than I anticipated.
There you see that little cluster of trees coming into play on Rebecca's shot.
Yeah, she'll have a forced straddle likely to attempt her par putt from 15-ish. And here's Missy from probably circle 1's edge. A forced straddle to get to the left of that grouping of trees that you see there.
Missy would really like the 2 here.
Ooh,
oh,
man.
No.
That was really close.
A lot of chains, but it does trickle out on the left side. We're going to see a Rebecca straddle putt.
Yeah, so she's going to be going through these trees. Should be a big enough window.
Sometimes that can be helpful to frame your putt.
100%. Yeah, it's just not coming out quite right for her on this round. She is a good putter, though. I do expect her to rally from this.
Yeah, still might be some early round jitters. Again, this is the 4th FPO card. Very excited to be part of the coverage teams here at the Disc Golf World Championships.
Yeah, so this first round, there was 4 featured cards. We had one on the live coverage and then 3 different coverage crews helping out.
Rebecca, not a long putt, but again, she's got to be very accurate here.
Yep, framed up. She's got a little gap that she needs to hit left and right, just over the top of the basket. She's got to get that putter feeling a little bit better if she wants to get back on track. Do have confidence in her. We've seen her play very, very well. Just not starting off this Worlds exactly how she would have liked.
And only 324 feet, but also only 3 birdies on the entire day for the FPO field. And we saw one of those.
We did. Hailey is absolutely parked. And then shout out to Owen Scoggins and Heather Young, also making easy work of hole 6 during this first round at the fort.
Hole 7, 345 feet. Again, the biggest window is on the right side of the fairway, but as you can see from the flyover from GK, you're going to have a lot to contend with as you get closer to the pin, including this log feature, which is going to make for a lot of obscure putts.
Super unique tee pad here. You can see that there's a little bit of... You're not wanting to footfall on that one, I'll just say that much.
No, you don't want to have a James Conrad and find yourself launching off the front of this pad. Luckily, they've set it up for player safety, it appears.
True. 345 feet, so you are trying to get a decent ways down there, but a little bit downhill, so it probably plays closer to 310. So much to navigate, and that fallen tree, that trunk late, is a really interesting feature to this hole.
Only a 10% birdie rate here on day 1 for the FPO field. And Missy finds a tree and kicks right, but I think that actually might give her a little bit better look at that meatier part of the fairway.
Another one of these greens that if you go past it, you are contending with the river. It doesn't come into play too much, but if you absolutely pure everything, you might find your way all the way down there.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to start to see the elevation come to play. We're over 4,000 feet here in Ogden, and that's going to add to a little overstability to these shots, right, Danny?
It absolutely does. Oh, there you see Rebecca going down there. It looks like that finished up OB. Missy had a nice approach earlier. Now we're looking at Hailey. Up and over through everything. She'll be sitting just fine to tap in her par there. Lisa catching just a little bit of the cage there on her attempt. And then Rebecca just finding the cage there. She's reeling right now, looking to come back strong on the next hole.
Missy content to walk away with a par here, I would think. The card feeling a little bit of the fort's potential here.
Yeah, parring along isn't the worst thing, especially for this first round of the World Championships. You cannot win it in the first round, but you can lose it. Just maintaining isn't the worst thing, and get those birdies when they come, because with the talent of these women, the birdies will absolutely come.
That's right. You're off to hole 8. It's another par 3, but certainly no gimme. 6th most difficult hole on the day. 310 feet. Not a mandatory off the tee, but you really don't have too much of a choice when you're picking your line. You have to get through some initial tree gaps and then that Y-shaped tree as you enter the open part of the fairway, which leads to a protected green and an elevated basket. Danny, what does that do for you?
It makes me scared. Makes me more tentative on my putts, but the people that are out here playing this week have a lot more skill than I do, that's for sure.
There you can see those windows that the players have to get through, and Hailey does very well, but wow, just catches the tail end of that fence, and that, I believe, blocked her from a circle 1 hit.
Yeah, that fence is an interesting feature. It's certainly something that you see come into play quite a bit. You'll see these ladies either favoring that forehand for those that have it, or it's a forced turnover backhand shot. You'll see that from Missy right now.
Great flexing forehand from Lisa there to get out to a nice position in the fairway. Missy, unfortunately, catches a tree, but she does make it to the open area, so she should be able to get up and down.
Oh, just a little bit to the right. She's still going to have to navigate this early window.
Yeah, this is a big moment for Rebecca. She really has to try and right the ship.
Interesting to see her go backhand off the tee when you can see right now she has a very competent forehand. She laid it up to the front edge of that fence, and she's going to have to go up and over for her par look.
Yeah, difficult position to still access the green. Missy, again, kicked just forward enough to have a fairly open look and manages to get up to circle 1.
Yeah, super confident upshot right there. Nice easy layup from Lisa. She'll have about a 10-footer on this elevated pin to tap in for par.
Taking a run at it.
Ooh.
Wow, great Annie flick bid from Rebecca. Just off the side of the basket.
That would have been such a good energy, momentum moment right there. Oh, great bid from Hailey. Just a little bit low. If this basket was normal height and she put it on that height, that would have been going right in.
Let's see. Stays cool and collected. Nice up and down there.
Yeah. It's one where if you're not hitting that gap, you're probably going to lose a stroke. Again, she was fortunate enough to kick all the way through. Easy up and down. It wasn't a gimme, but she made it look that easy.
All right, here's Rebecca. She'll look to grab her bogey here.
Let's get one in. We know you've got it. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. That was a lot of basket, but it doesn't matter how it gets in as long as it gets in, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely. She's grabbing it out of the basket. That's huge. A little bit of confidence going into the next one. This next hole is the only par 5 of the entire tournament, if I recall correctly.
Smooth disc retrieval there from Hailey King. You're right, Danny. This is the only par 5. It's 728 feet. Multiple drop zone areas that you want to hit as you work your way up this long finishing hole on the front 9.
Yeah, they've got an early mandatory, and then we're just passing the second one now. It's a very clear dog leg to the left. It's a long, narrow fairway, not nearly as narrow as looking back at hole 4 and 5. And then as we see the approach here, you can go to the right side of this mound, but where the GK drone is flying right now is very much the preferred route, going left side. And then there's the basket just waiting to catch birdies.
Yeah, I believe once you're past the corner of this hole, which is about 447 feet off the tee, at that point, mistakes should be left because the right side is not a place you want to be.
Hailey just a little bit early, but she threw something understable enough that it did get some flip, and she'll be hugging the left side of the fairway.
Lisa cranks on this one and pushes up the fairway, but again, she'll find herself just on the edge of that rough, which might make for a tricky lie.
A little bit, but at least on that right side, she's approaching that dogleg left with the right angle, the correct angle. It's a lot of left, right, left.
It's like you almost get 2 holes of golf on this. You want to stay right on your way to the corner, stay left on your way to the basket.
Straight down the center for Missy. Now we've got Rebecca, little bit of a flex. It's coming back. She's on the fairway. That's got to feel good.
And again, she may not have got as much distance, but Missy not in a bad position to attack for her second shot.
Not at all. Easy little up and around on the approach, getting around that last mandatory. Now she's looking to up and down for birdie.
And just the slight difference in Hailey's positioning on the fairway shows you how tough it is if you stay left there off of the tee.
Yeah, here's Lisa, who missed a little bit to the right side, but again, has a very good angle to approach.
She'll be good position there. Rebecca managed to get all the way to where she could almost see all the way down the fairway here for her second shot, and it's a great attack.
That's incredible. We've got everybody now getting around the second mandatory in 2 shots, in good position to get up and down. It's still a long ways to go from there, but everybody has a chance to get up and down for that birdie. Hailey going a little bit short right. She should have an interesting look to get up and down for her par.
Big skip for Lisa there, so she might have a little bit of a tighter window as she approaches the green, but she's in fairly good position over there.
Missy choosing to go with something neutral and happy to just get up and down for par. She missed a little bit left, but that up and down for par should still be very much available.
We see the sidearm from Rebecca, and she'll be a little pinched off by the trees, but she's just outside circle 1.
Yeah, she has the best birdie look of the group for sure.
Only 3 birdies on the day for the FPO field. That's a 4% birdie rate.
Hailey missing a little bit early there with that forehand pitch-up shot. Lisa making contact. She'll have a wide open look, but a little bit longer than she would have liked. Missy with the gap to hit. Makes the gap, but a little bit of contact with the foliage there, and it's going to miss low. She'll be just under the basket, though. Look at that.
Good putt from Lisa there. And, it took every bit of the par 5 to get there, but she's in for her par.
Almost giving a hug to the basket there. We warned you of her putting prowess. Now you're seeing it. Rebecca for the birdie. So close. That would have felt great. Here's the par putt.
Yeah, she did really well positioning herself.
She is all over that thing. She's had some high, some low, some left, some right. Ready to get it dialed in. We're halfway through. See what she's got for the back 9. And here's Missy tapping out.
Yeah, Missy had a little bit of trouble
Here we finish up our round coverage for the front 9. First round at the World Championships. Greg, who were the 3 that birdied this hole?
We had birdies from Alexis Mondahano, Jen Allen, and Kat Mersch.
Shout out you ladies. That's an impressive get. 3 rounds at this location. Thank you guys for tuning into this one. Please come back for the back 9. I cannot wait to see how they all played out.